Arms forward. If you have any injuries, pay attention to that part of your body. Substitute techniques, exercises, things you can do. Make small improvements in everything, and they will become big changes. Back. Don't sacrifice good technique for speed or power. Opposite directions. It's your first, second, or third class in a while. Please take it easy. Switch. Remember to breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Regulate your breathing. Don't hold your breath. Switch the directions one more time. Crossing. Am I freezing or are you guys freezing?
A little bit of choppiness.
Okay. Hands up underneath, turning. Feet apart, reaching. Hands on the knees, forward and back, forward and back. Circles. Reverse. Leg up, ankle turns. Other direction. Up and down. Toes. Other foot. Other direction. Up and down, toes. Okay, shake it out a little bit. Hey, let's lightly just bring the knees up as a light warm up today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Behind us. Watch out from anything behind you, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and relax. Okay, so before we get started, real briefly here, what's going on with my body today is usually a result of what I did yesterday or the day before, right? So yesterday in advanced class, we did the foot checks, and we were really relaxed and loose in it. Didn't even seem like much of a workout because we were working on fluidity, but hamstrings, everything's tight. That's a good thing. So what's happened, you too? Yeah, excellent. So what happens today is a result of a lot of times of what we did yesterday, and that's life. That's a good thought process. So during this workout, you need to take that in consideration because I don't know what you did yesterday, right? Unless you were in class. So if I start doing a slow extension, I'm going to go against what I did yesterday, and the healing process that needs to take effect won't happen as much. Okay, so today, yesterday we spoke about the way we think during a workout in an advanced class is different than the way we think in the basic class. And the word basic sometimes makes people, especially of higher rank or something, think like basic means simple or first grade stuff, but really the basics are the fundamental of the art. So when I do a basic class, when I use the word basic, I'm focusing on toes pulled up, extension, all the technical aspects that I do not want to think about during combat. Okay? During an advanced class, I'm thinking of the whole unit, the full kick, retraction, extension, the application, not the proper parts. Those are different practices in my head. So we're in basic today, so I want you to think about the fundamental motions. Whatever we do, think about what makes them up, as long as it doesn't make you robotic. So going into that, we're going to go back to your left bow stance, and we're going to pivot to the right bow and do a left block. Okay, inside block is fine for now. Then we're going to turn back around. So since we are in a basic class, our bow stance is going to have our knee pushed out, back leg locked. Our pivot is going to be squared up so that we're not leaning. The inside block will be there. And as we come back, we'll pivot back and then stand up. So obviously we're working on a pivot as well. So easy does it. If you're riled up or if you're not, lower, you can go lower, you can change the workout. But let's keep the speed consistent in each movement. Okay, so hands on the hips. 1. And back. 2. Back. Okay, 3. Back. 4. Back. 5. Back. 6. Back. 7. Back. 8. Back. 9. Back. 10. Back. Other side. 1. Back. 2. Back. 3. Back. 4. Back. 5. Back. 6. Back. 7. Back. 8. Back. 9. Back. 10. Back. So we'll go back to the other side. Added a punch and a pivot. So hit and distance punch. Just one thing. The step is good. When I start the turn, I start the block. Okay, and then this one comes around. Okay, so let's not go 1, 2, block. Let's go ahead and on the pivot, make sure that we're covering. And then here, and then on the punch, we'll pivot back. And then back will be here. So the movement's exactly the same. We just add another beat to it, which is the punch. Okay, 1. Back. 2, back, 3, back, 4, back, 5, back, 6, back, 7, back, 8, back, 9, back, 10, back, other side, 1, back, 2, back, 3, back, 4, back, 5, back, 6, back, 7, back, 8, back, 9, back, 10, back. Shake it out. Excellent. So each time for me anyways, as I add a new technique on, basic class, so I think about what do I really want to focus on this motion here. And so for that 10, I would be focusing on that, and hopefully I did that with each one, so it'll take care of itself. If I let my mind wander, if I can't focus on that, that's when we do 10, 20, 30, or 40, until each time my pivot is at the end and I'm not doing this sort of punch. So if that takes 40, 50, or 100, that's what basic class is. Okay, now we add the front kick. So let's go to the other side. The front kick is going forward. So let's step, cover as we pivot, high block, throw the punch out, pivot. Okay, now our hidden distance punch. So we're going to go for there. So the hand is going to come up to this position here as the knee comes up. Okay, so that's just forward leg, our closed side, our open side. So we're just going to come up here, extend out, and then stand back up. Okay? And if you want to switch the hands on the kick, which is a natural thing that we do a lot, that's okay too. Okay, so since we're emphasizing the kick, what's the thought process? You know, toes up, targeting, and retraction. Pick on one of those. Here we go. 1. Back. 2. Back. 3. Back. 4. Back. 5. Back. 6. Back. 7. Back. 8. Back. 9. Back. 10. Back. Other side. 1. Back. 2. Back. 3. Back. 4. 6, back, 7, back, 8, back, 9, back, 10, shake out, excellent. So we'll just do the same thing. We'll have the side kick, but the side kick will go sideways. So we've punched, did the front kick. No, actually, let's go ahead and switch to the side so that we're alternating it. Okay, so you'll step up, the hands drop down, covering your kidney, extend the kick out, step back down and up. So it's a right front kick, but a left side kick until you switch sides. Everything up till that point should be a little more fluid, and then the thought process comes in on improving the side kick. Okay, if you can. Here we go. 1, back, 2, back, 3, four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 'Reverse to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 'Okay, make sure you have enough space behind you to add the back kick. Okay, so the back kick will be with the forward leg. So what we've done, front kick, step up, side kick, back to the left bow, step up, back kick, step back, or if you have the room, you can fire the back kick right from the position. So if you have a space issue, like a window behind you, you can step up or adjust. Okay, so let's switch to the other side now. So remember the back kick, keep your hips squared, and at least attempt to look, but mainly keep your hips squared. Okay, 1. Back. 2. Back. 3. Back. 4. Back. 5. Back. 6. Seven. 8. 9. 10. Okay, so sometimes when you add one more, things fall out. Just think about, not the technique, think about which way you're going, right? We went 1, 2, 3, 4. So just think about your opponents and at least do something. Okay, see? What are we doing? Other side. 1. Back. 2. Back. 3. Back. 4. Back. 5. Six. Back. 7. 8. 9. 10. 'And shake it out a little bit. Good. You stretch it down. So as you're stretching here, not to get a rush, you don't need to stretch right now, but I want you to think about your movements again. Sometimes we go into the whole thing. Each individual motion needs to be taken care of, or you don't have the whole. So one thing that I know that once you focus on one thing, other things sort of fall out. So there are some things that you have to maintain consistency in your training so that you don't have to think about it. And they're critical in everything you do almost. And they're just general good rules. And that one is staying level. So let's go to the other side. You've got all these movements. Now let's see Once you get to this position here, with your knees that level, I want you to stay that level until you're back to here. You can move a little this way, you can move a little this way, but you don't need to move too much this way. If you're finding yourself having to move up to where you can see yourself doing it on the screen, you're either pushing low, which is okay if that's what you're doing and you know it. I would rather have you go up a little higher and keep it in. So when I come back, say number 2, if you watch, I don't come back up to here when I'm going smoothly. 1, 2. I'm trying to really train that level consistently. So that's what we're going to do on the next couple. Okay, so everything else you did well. So now just think level. Here we go. We're standing. Now we drop. 1. Stay that level. Stay that level. Even on the front kick, especially on the side kick, and then on the back kick. Then you're back to the normal position. You stand up, keep the knee slightly bent. You go right into number 2. Now you start to add the flow, and making all this one fluid motion. 3. So now the body doesn't really ever even stop in that neutral position. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. And now you stand up. Okay, so that's kind of like 1, right? We never dropped it from the beginning. There's some benefit in training that way. If you watch yourself, probably get it better if you watch other people or watch yourself on video. You'll see that people telegraph the direction they're going to go, which is good for you if you can see that. If you've never seen it before, if you don't know what a side kick looks like, and I lean, and you don't know what I'm going to do, you're going to get hit with a side kick, right? But when you start to learn as a practitioner, if you see somebody, you know the direction he's going, those are things that you want to register. And for you higher belts, not necessarily correct for the lower belts. Watch it when it comes at you and realize that you're getting information in your own training unless you're teaching. So let's go to the other side and keep the same concept. If you telegraph your side kick, because of whatever reason, then I want you to raise up so everything is non-telegraphed. Okay? If you telegraph your front kick because you have to shift your weight, I would either have you go up higher or shift and don't do a front kick, or maybe even take this lunge step to kind of give yourself a little distance. It's up to you to find in your training the cheats to keep consistent with the lesson that we're learning. Okay, so we're going to the other side. Go 1, lock, punch, kick, kick, step, kick, back, up. Before I even stand up, this foot's already going back. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. and shake it out. So when I was a young student last week, no, a long time ago, I had these two people that I sparred with in class that I remember in that generation. And I don't so much remember time so much, but I do remember who came up at what level. And one of the guys is really fast. And I really like sparring him because I did really well. And there's this other guy that was a little bit slower, but it was very hard. He made way more points. The other guy I made more points on. And I never really analyzed it much, but somebody was talking about how fast he was. And so I sat there and watched him when he wasn't sparring me. I go, man, that guy is really fast. How the heck am I doing so well on him? And I could see the two of them spar, and I kind of compared. And it was an eye-opener because the person that was slower didn't telegraph his movements. He would come up, and that could be a front side. He could be switching stances. Even though he was slow, you didn't know until you got to there. And then you went, oh, front, and it was too late. The other guy would telegraph it, then he'd just go really fast. So if you saw the telegraph and you moved even 2 inches out of the way, his kick was there and back, but his target was still open. Bang. And I didn't know why I did so well, but I picked up on those cues. Maybe years of tournaments, I don't know. But it clued me into myself what I was also doing. So when somebody made excessive points on me, excessive points is more than one, I started looking at what I was doing and what my responsibility was during my training. I can't control somebody that's good. That makes me happy. So if I'm not telegraphing it and he's getting the point because he's better than me, I will get better by sparring him. But if he's getting the point because I telegraph it, I'm not going to get better, right? Unless I learn that. So I started watching for that and it helped. And how I improved it, long story short, sorry guys, how I improved it was not in sparring. When somebody's trying to kick your head off, you do not improve things. Okay, unless you improve them. If you think about it, right, you've all done that. Too late. I improved it in classes like this. Okay, so let's go back and let's think about that really hard. Okay, so if I step back, watch me as we step back. We're all going to step back. That's telegraphed because it has to be. We changed a level, right? Okay, so I went back, then I went down. That's 2 telegraphs. Now maybe I go straight down. That's only 1. I can buy that. If I turn, that's a telegraph, but if I turn and then sink, because we're taught to sink into that stance, that's a turn, a lift, and a drop. Okay, that gave the guy 3 times he could see it, unless it's your secret technique. But if I just turn, that's only 1 plane. Now I turn again. Now if I go up when I kick, people see that a mile away. I just bring this knee up like I'm going to take a step, so I can do any of our stepping patterns, and then I choose to kick. Some Chinese styles will come to this position here before they kick. They will not come to the chambered position on one leg until they decide it's an attack. So they may come up to here, then fire a kick, front kick, side kick, and then step back. And there's some value in that, okay? So we're going to go through this one more time. I just want you guys to intentionally break your balance up and down. Do everything we did. See if you can watch yourself on the screen, but move up and down. Don't make a bad technique, but move up and down until you can see it. Okay, so here we go. 1. Okay, so that feels actually okay, right? But if you're watching, it's not okay. Yeah, if you don't do that, it doesn't feel okay, right? But usually, like, if you can't see it, it's usually pretty good. Okay? But does that matter much? It's what your opponent can see, right? And the more experienced your opponent, he can see literally a finger move, right? You want to be that guy, okay? You want to be able to not show that. Now let's just go back to it, but this time let's be really conscious of it and not bob at all. Okay, ready? Go. And then back up. Hey, now that might feel a little stilted, right? So now the truth will be somewhere in between. Okay, so now just don't think about what I said, good or bad. Now just do the motion. Go. Okay, how was that one? Okay, now here's how so this is how this works. what we just did. So we taught the brain, you know, one way, then we showed it another way, then we let it do its thing knowing what it's doing. So here's what happened with me. I knew the movement because I just did a half hour of them. So when I did the front kick, I also knew what was coming next was a side and a back kick. So when this foot didn't even really ground out. I stayed level to here, bang, and then right back up. And that's less telegraphing. And you can get some real good speed. But you know the reality of it is that you know that because you're doing that. So when you're good with that, you should mix it up. Front kick, no. Side kick, then front kick, then back kick, and then see how you do. Okay, now we got to get all that out, so 3 times each side. On your own, go. And I would alternate sides. Two. Three. Okay, stretch it out. Release, hamstrings, lower back, whatever is arguing with you right now. A little lower, bend the knees, straighten the back, go back to your left bow stance. Okay, so find the weight over the front leg, back leg rooted and locked, hips, shoulders, everything squared. Knee tracking with the toes, whether it's this way or this way, and then slightly out. I've seen where they go, and this is just asking for ruining your knees and your ankles. Make sure your body works the way it's supposed to. Knee over toe is a good policy. Okay, so easy training on your own. Take 30 minutes to go through your stances. Some of the classes that helped me the most were our stance classes, and to be honest with you, we haven't did that many of them when I was a student. But once you get it, you get it. Okay, so we're going to do a mild 3-minute class. Okay, so you guys can take this further. You cannot move up or down. Okay, not this way. This way is fine, but not this way. So find the stance that you don't go down nor up. You're constant. Okay, and that should be a little strenuous for you. Okay, so we're going to go horse, right bow if you were slide up to a horse. Stay level. Over to a right open X. Doesn't matter as long as you're doing it. Back to a left bow. Turn to a horse. Turn to a bow. Now slide back to the opposite bow. Cross over to the open X. Go up to a cat. Okay, then to the horse. Okay, over to an open X. Over to a horse. Back to a right bow. Okay, pivot to a left bow. Step straight back to a diagonal open X. Pivot to the horse. Step up to a left front cat. Slide up. Back to the right bow. Okay, back to the open X forward position, lesser Xingshi term. Okay, take the weight that's on that forward leg, stay level, and bring it back to the horse. And then go forward with that same leg again. Okay, now we're going to go back leg to the horse, then slide step, and then back to the left bow. So it goes cat, left, pull forward to a cat, cross over to a short open X, turn your weight to a right bow, cross over to the Xingshi stance, or the short open X, and then step forward to the right bow, pivot to the horse, pivot back to an open X, step back to the left bow, cross back over, into the horse, back to the cat, into the horse, up to the cat, to the horse, behind to an open X, pivot to the horse, behind to an open X, pivot to the horse, up to a cat stance, switch that cat stance by walking forward to another cat, and then another, and then let's go back a little bit, back a little bit, and then stand up. Okay, so I don't even want to look at the video because I think I went up and down, but I started going a little bit quick. It doesn't even matter if you weren't in the stances I was doing. If you go from one stance to the next level like that, you build up a tremendous strong legs, but think about every one of your movements that you do. What connects each movement usually? You're stepping, right? I mean, yeah, I understand that's important, but how did I get there? But more importantly is where do I go from here? Okay, come to my next opponent, boom. Now, I might have to move very quickly. When you can get that down, a huge part of the art falls away because you've got it. You don't need it anymore, okay? You guys don't need to do this. 2 plus 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4. Okay, I still have to count with my fingers, but 2 plus 2 is 4. It's there. Once that's there, it falls away, and then you can move to multiplication. So I want you to go 2 minutes on stance work. Okay, so the main important thing is what? Staying level, but you can't break and do weird stances. So if you end up in some sort of hokey stance that you've never been in before, just stand up, shake it up, and be again. Okay, so let's see how low or whatever you can get. And for you higher belts, resist, which is hard, going to a proper good solid stance. Stay level, okay? 2 minutes is a long time for stance work. Go. And good, got it. Okay, it doesn't take too long, 40 minutes and you'll find yourself not wanting to do that class anymore, but the benefits are huge. Just to understand how huge, think about how many stances there are. Ones that you use, 8, maybe 9. If you count 3 cat stances, 3 crane stances, you're up to 6, but really, if you think about it, if you don't split too many hairs, there's not that many. But also think about how many times you're in class working with somebody, including us, by the way, ourselves, and the person's trained for over a year or 2 and their stance is still wrong. Yet there's only 6 or 7 or 8 of them. That's the power of not focusing on the right thing. Get that out of the way and then move your focus on. But I understand it's kind of hard to do because when you got somebody trying to punch you in the face, you know, you kind of don't want to sit there and say, let's see, is my back leg? But it would be beneficial if you did. That class right there will do it to you in a very short period of time. It's what my instructor used on me to get me out of my bouncing. So many tournaments that, you know, this is my neutral stance, guys. Here's my horse stance. Here's my bow stance. And in my brain, I was here. I really was. Okay, now, let's go through that again. Let's go subtly, though. Go back to your, and I'll just call